Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are live and back. We're going to see if we can get the ball rolling with this new habit of streaming every Tuesday and hopefully every Thursday here live on Ka-Pow, the Comic Art Academy. I am Dr. Solo Perry. I am the founder and director of Ka-Pow, the Comic Art Academy, and welcome. Tonight we're going to be having some nice, easy fun. I'm gonna keep it easy tonight. We're gonna keep it smooth. We're gonna keep it smooth for y'all tonight. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's okay. If you're live or watching the replay, feel free to check us out at kapowschool.com, the real comic art school for real people with real lives, taught by real pros. And I'm so excited that we are now accepting pre-admission interviews for our 23-24 school year, and we only have 9 seats available. We only got 9 seats available, and so five in the morning class and 4 remaining in the evening class. And so check us out. Visit kapowschool.com, or there should be a link in the description if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook. But if you go to kapowschool.com, and if you're on Twitch and the link is not in the description, there should be a link on Twitch to the website. Schedule your free 15-20 minute interview to apply. And so, so we're going to have some fun tonight. Let me go ahead and get started. Tonight, I am in the position where I have to really start revisiting some artwork for some prints. I had lost everything on my iPad a while ago. And I had most of the prints on my iPad were at various stages of completion. And I'm still feeling some kind of way about it, if I'm being completely honest. Still feeling some kind of way about it. But it has forced me to get back to the drawing board. And so we're going to start working on just some doodles trying to explore. I'm working on ideas right now for, I want to do an icon print from Milestone. This is a personal project of mine, personal love affair that I have with the original Milestone stuff, and I have to emphasize original. Have not been happy with the relaunch and the reboot, though I still wish them well. Those comics are so needed in the marketplace. So all I'm doing right now is just really relaxing tonight. I'm not going to be on here long. We're just going to start exploring some potential ideas. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. Happy Tuesday. If you have any questions for me while I work, please don't hesitate to let me know. I want to kind of have an energy. We will be at Indie PopCon and PopCon Louisville this year. If you guys are at any cons, let me know. I don't know if I like that hand there. I'm wearing part of my Ka-Pow uniform, which is the hat. Many people kind of know me from conventions when they see the hat. What's up, son? Trying to get this Ka-Pow thing going, like Honor Studios, working on icon. Exploring some icon prints. Do a couple of poses, get in, get reacquainted. I got it, son, I got it. How's your day going, man? Good day, I hope. Kind of like Icon having power coming from his eyes. Had some, oh, cool. About to hop on with the grandbabies. You about to stream on Twitch? You and the wife, Lady King. Oh, really? For pole dancing classes? That's interesting. Renting space is always a good thing. Yes, very. I agree, man. I agree. So I'm about to frame him up really quick, and I'm going to put him. I'm going to put him in a rough box, so I kind of see how that print might look. No, don't want that one. Oh, really? She was nice. She brought her daughter. Cool. That's what's up. It's a family affair. That's what's up. She brought her daughter. That's always a good sign. That's always a good sign. Like I said, you know, at the gym, for those of you watching, my son is an entrepreneur, owns a very nice gym called Forge Athletic Performance, and we keep it about family at Forge. Oh, she was 5, and Liam is just so darn big. Liam is just so darn big. Liam is a giant for his age. Y'all gave that boy some good genes. Y'all gave him some good genes. I'm gonna put some city back here. I might need to change that profile. Yeah, kind of like the city. The vanishing point coming all the way up there. I'm just gonna rough it in. That's good. Did she sign on the dotted line? Signing on the dotted line is always even better than coming to visit. Okay. So are the poles they're mobile? They're portable? I don't know how that stuff works. I only seen what I've seen like on those reality shows where they go, you know, on their outings for with pole dancing and whatnot. I have no idea how any of that works. Oh wow. Yeah, they fold up. They fold. Okay. Well, again, you know, when I was in the industry, men didn't do poles. We didn't do poles. We just did stage. That's a uniquely cannot relate. My experience only goes so far. My experience only goes so far. It was funny though. Hilarious. Hilarious. Yeah. I've had an interesting life. So we're gonna go ahead and turn the lights off on this guy. We're gonna start another one. Popped into houses just like a fire. No, didn't do houses. We just did the club. You exaggerating there. Go on there. You exaggerating. Only did the club. Only did the stage. Only did the stage. Only did the stage. Stuff wasn't hanging out all over the place, but it was there. Thank God for salvation. We thank God for salvation. This is going to be a vertical 2-point perspective. Right now, I'm just roughing it in. I really don't care about the details. I just want what I want for the scene. We're gonna have city in the background. Boom. You are hilarious. At least your father shares his history with y'all. You know, I ain't got no skeleton. Y'all ain't got nothing on the old man. Y'all ain't got nothing on me. I'm the most terrifying dude in the world. A man with nothing to lose. No skeletons in the closets. It's all testimony at this point. Alright, so we're going to start a different pose. We're going to go with a darker green. And so... Alright, let's go ahead and lock this. Okay. We'll call this frame. Go ahead and save this really quick. Save it all things Ka-Pow. Icon. Print. Alright, cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and first let me go ahead and get a little background here. Turn this off. Go P. We're gonna go with the bigger tool. What I'm gonna do right here is I'm just gonna lay down gonna block in the shape really quick, and this will give me some separation between the sketch and the background. so that when I put it in there, or I kind of have, I think I'm gonna do a variation of this. I could do this with the lasso tool too, just FYI. Not trying to be all pretty and clean, just trying to block in some shapes. Oh, I think I did it on the wrong layer. I did, of course I did. Of course I did. So we're gonna lock frame. Now we're gonna go back and block him in again. Make sure the foreshortening kind of holds. I usually like to show the other arm, though it's not always necessary. There we go. There's it. There's the framing that I want. Save me some strokes. Save my wrists for a better day. It's not pretty, but it'll get us done. All right, so we turn back on the white. Boom. Now I start drawing with this guy. Bring it back down. Go to a pretty cool pencil tool. Kind of looking down. Chest is foreshortened, no matter how massive it is. One thing I tell the students at Ka-Pow, always try to add some semblance of naturalism, even when you're trying to be real cool and super heroic. That torso will be pushed all the way up. We get a little bit of the buttocks from the side. I'm gonna go ahead and put that foot in the ear. We're actually gonna make him smaller because I don't want him to fill up the whole frame. I want the composition to be powerful. There we go. I'll push him up in the sky. And again, this is nothing innovative. This is not me trying to be avant-garde. This is me just exploring. Everything's kind of pushed up. We'll get more of the bottom of this leg because of the angle, so we'll see more of the leg that's kind of tucked in. Might put Almost like he's drawn. He's got both arms. Boom, and that one's kind of ready. It's charged up as well. This leg would actually be longer because of the kneecap would be pushed up more because of the angle. Yeah, that's cool. I think that might work. See, that was from the clumps. What are you playing tonight? If you're still there, I don't even know you're still there. What are you playing tonight? And I want the hand. We won't see a lot of it, but we'll see it in there behind all this energy. Kind of encapsulated. Make sure y'all can see me all right. Camera effects. Pull out a little bit. There we go. Here we go. There we go. Ain't gotta have you all up in my grill. I'm messing up these nibs, boy. I'm going through these nibs. I got this screen protector for my Cintiq. I didn't even know they made it. But it gives me so much more control. And mind you, I've had it for years without it, so it's not like I really need the control. But it makes it feel so much like paper, which is my preferred medium. Despite all the digital stuff that I do. Traditional icon cape, and I don't care who doesn't like the fact that I'm doing icon. This is a crucial part in my artistic development. The advent. Oh, let me go ahead and mute my mic for a little bit. Y'all ain't got to hear a conversation between me and my boo. Me and my boo are 30 years, 27 years married. The Honorverse. So Mr. Melee is asking. That's my son Jordan. He's asking about who's the Honorverse's version of Superman / Icon. And in the Honorverse, the Superman is actually a woman, and her name is Adama, which is taken from the word adamant. And then there's a male that has to kind of get his stuff together, also from her, who's like her. His name is Patriarch. So if the male version would be the dude Patriarch. But I'm kind of like Hancock. Yep, kind of like Hancock. Except for the fact that she is she I think has the bigger growth, even though he is more powerful than her. He's more powerful than her, you know, as far as sheer power. I think I kind of like that. But I might want to play with this leg a little bit. Because the leg would definitely be more sideways. So we get this. The leg would be more sideways. So we get more of the outer thigh because all of this is facing, all of that's facing the reader. Yeah, it'll be Regent. I mean Patriarch. Regent's another character, but he's kind of like the opposite. And I just recently saw a pose like this, similar, with Clayton Henry. He did a page of Batman that I actually taught the kids at Ka-Pow from. I kind of used him as an example in class, using vertical perspective. I mean vertical horizon line. Did you get in touch with Will, Jordan? Did you get in touch with Will? I'm gonna try another one just for. What up, Chuck? What up, Chuck? CJ, what's happening? Trying to get these layouts for these prints. Go on, Sky. Trying to get some rough layouts for some prints. I'm just experimenting a little bit. All right, let's try another one. Boom. Turn that one off. And let's try. Let's go purple. This screen protector on my Cintiq bra is like whittling down this nib like nothing. But I just got a shipment today of a whole bunch of nibs. A whole bunch of nibs. About I think 80. About 80. So this should last me at least the year with what I got on the slate, if not longer. Oh, you just looked down and saw it was on? Yeah. I did Honor Studios this morning. I'm working on an icon print. Despite what's been happening at Milestone. Again, not a fan of what's been currently done with these characters that ignited my passion for me to get into comics. It was literally definitively Milestone Comics, Milestone Media. Yep. I'm gonna do an icon print. He's on my list of Ka-Pow prints. So I'm gonna do icon. So this year I'm trying to have Storm done. I might work on Storm Thursday. Storm is on my iPad. I have to redraw Storm. Storm was done and on my iPad. I had a gorgeous Storm print done. Storm of the X-Men. When I lost everything on my iPad. So I'm starting another Storm print that's similar to that one. I'm gonna have Photon. I'm gonna do Space Ghost, Icon. I'm gonna do a Batman. I'm gonna do a Spidey 2099, and I'm gonna do a Spider-Gwen. And then I'm gonna start working on the prints for 2024. That'll get me through this year, and then I'm gonna do some anime prints for 24. And mind you, just keep these in rotation until they, sell out or whatever. I'm blessed for all you guys that support me when you guys see me at cons. Last year was my first year ever selling my artwork when I opened up the school. And you just kind of never know when you've been away as long as I was how your stuff is going to resonate with people. But you guys showed up, and let's just say brother been selling out of prints as well as sketch covers. Now these are just the prints. This is not talking about the sketch covers. I always got to have some original fire on the table at the Ka-Pow booth. So I'm trying to do at least at the sketch. I'm not talking about fully colored. There'll be a few fully colored sketch covers, but I got 3 short boxes full of blanks. I don't know, because it got so hectic last year. I don't know if I'm gonna do the commission thing or not this year, because because I still got commissions I have to finish from last year. But again, I'm blessed to have that problem. I'm so grateful. Because now with my studio back live and in production, Honor Studios has to get a huge lion's share of my attention aside from the school. How did that happen, brother? So the story. Here's the story. Last year, I was in a mental state, because my mom, we were losing my mom, and so I was trying to get distracted by drawing, and I was working on the prints, and I had 10 prints on that. No, we're just talking about the prints. We're not talking about the other artwork, like sketches and stuff for Honor Studios that I had on it. I lost everything. But I had quite a bit of stuff, because remember, my iPad is the Generation 1. So imagine every drawing that I've had since 2016, when that iPad came out. I had all that stuff on there. The Venom prints, the prints that I'm currently selling, that I created on there. The flash print. I had a reverse flash print that was done. That was the antithesis of my flash print. I had started on a Justice League series done. It's called the monoline series, where I don't use line weight. I just use a thin monoline. I don't know if you see my flash print. Let me show you that. I'll show you the flash print, because I don't think you've seen it. Let's see. Flash. I have the print files done, thank God, but I don't have the original art. Find that print. So I have the let's give me everything. Nope, don't want that one. That's not mine. That's somebody else's flash. I had the flash print. I had the reverse flash print. I had Storm. I had my Black History Month prints that I was going to do for Black History Month. I had about 8 of those, which were legendary, my remixes of legendary black superheroes that were crucial to the landscape. And what happened was my Procreate froze on me. Procreate froze. And Procreate froze. And you would think that I would Google first what to do. But in my ignorance, I just assumed that Procreate was like every other, app on a mobile device, that it would go ahead and just, everything would have been backed up. Everything would have been backed up in Procreate. And so I uninstalled it. I uninstalled Procreate and I reinstalled it, not knowing that Procreate does not keep a native folder on the device, on the iPad when it's installed. Procreate does not keep a native folder. And so, open with Clip Studio Paint. So Procreate does not keep a native folder. So this was the flash print that I did. And I did a reverse flash where I had him with a sneer. You know what I mean? I inverted all the colors, changed the background, flipped the symbol. So this is the monoline series. So I had started on Batman, Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Hawkgirl, and a John Stewart Green Lantern, all done in this style with the scratchy monoline. And the least of all the prints I had on there, the least of them, the least, were 60% done. So I uninstalled Procreate thinking that it keeps a native folder on the device. Procreate does not keep a native folder. Here's, for those of you who are new to Procreate, you have to create a folder on your device and periodically save your files to that folder. Export them and save them to that folder, right? I uninstall and I reinstall. I open up Procreate and everything's gone. So I immediately start looking for a folder. There is no folder. So then I Google it, which is something I should have done ahead of time. I Google it, and it turns out, that's how I found out that Procreate does not create a native folder, a cache folder on the device like most apps do. Most apps, when you install them from the App Store, especially purchased apps, they're going to install a folder with all the metadata, you know, and the files in there. Procreate does not do that. So I lost, and mind you, I got my iPad so I could draw and get the time-lapse videos for content. That's why I got it. And even though the battery life is starting to diminish, it's still a good iPad, so I'm gonna keep it until the wheels fall off. So I'm restarting on these monolines. I doubt if I do the review, because this is actually one of my top-selling prints. This one right here. Yeah, this is one of my top-selling prints. Yeah. So yeah. So I've been scrambling to find worthwhile leftovers, unfinished projects. So that's why I'm doing Photon. Like I'm doing the Photon print. I might do her on another night. Oh. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm tripping. So yeah, I'm doing a Photon print on here. Let me find Photon, because it was something that I had started on. I'm doing a Goku print, another one that I had started on and didn't finish. Let me see if I can find Goku. These were on my iPad, but for some reason I exported them because I wanted to play with them in a different folder. And I was doing Goku in a comic book style. So let me open up Goku, open with Clip Studio Paint. So I'm gonna do this one. This one was 95% done. So I'm gonna be doing that. That's gonna be a print. These are just, I hate to call them scraps, but these, I'm trying to hurry up, and I'm rushing against the clock for our very first big convention, which is in June. I have actually an event in May on Cinco de Mayo, and I was supposed to be doing free comic book day in Kentucky at a comic book store, a friend of mine. But the event that I have here is kind of a big deal, and she put me on the program. And this is me halfway colored. Oh, I can actually show you how much of the Goku print, how far I had gotten, right? And mind you, the colors aren't done because they're not refined. I was just blocking in the colors. This is how far I had gotten when I lost it. You know, I was about to start adding the special effects. I was going to refine those colors, the whole 9 yards. But so yeah, lost this guy. Totally lost this guy. Luckily I still have the line work. Photon. Where's the Photon? There you go. I think that's her. Yep. So here's the Photon that I'm doing. So if I can get 5 of these done by June, 5 or 6 of these done by June, I think I'm good for con season, because I didn't want to have the same stuff on my table, especially for the school. And then I want to have at least 5 prints done for Honor Studios. So that's 10 prints. And then I want to have at least 5 or 6 sketch covers at least penciled by June. And of course, I got to start. I've already started laying out the pages for some stuff for Honor Studios for the books. We're probably going to have another meeting. I think I'm going to set the meetings for Honor Studios, Chuck, for you all who don't know. Charles Jenkins on YouTube, who's following me on YouTube, he is the resident color master for Honor Studios for our books. Of course, I do all the prints and stuff, but Chuck does the heavy lifting on the books for my studio. An incredible colorist. He does all the color chores, the resident colorist. So I think I'm gonna do the meetings the last Sunday of every month for Honor Studio, so we can get together. But you missed this morning. I started doing the layouts for the canvas wall that's gonna be behind our table at Honor Studios. I did that this morning. I can show you that. Should be in here. Oh, that's in Photoshop, and I don't want to open Photoshop because it'll slow down my whole computer and everything I got going on. So yeah. But anyway, you can check the video on demand from this morning stream for Honor Studios. And if you guys like what you see and you want to see my personal projects, check me out at Honor Studios. Honor Studios Entertainment on Twitch every morning at 7:30 a.m. That is me completely vulnerable and exposed in a way that I cannot be here at Ka-Pow School, but it's my studio productions where we're currently exploring content creation with the intention of games and animation. Because for those of you all don't know, yes, I've done stuff for Marvel. Yes, I'm a Google contracted art instructor. Google hired me to teach their employees globally that were comic book fans. They put me on a temporary contract. I was very honored for that because Google Googled me. They Googled me. Google Googled me. I've worked on Batman the Animated Series, Pinky and the Brain from the 90s. I'm old. No shade. I lean into it. I embrace my gray. And the bald head. The only reason I don't wear the cat. If anybody's peeking in from Honor Studios, this is part of my uniform when I'm at cons. If you see me at a con, I'm known for my black and white Malcolm X hat. All right, so if Honor Studios people are peeking in, hey Dawn, you can say this is part of my uniform. So when people see me at cons at Ka-Pow School, the hat is part of the uniform, right? So I wear the hat when I'm streaming for Ka-Pow School. My Honor Studios people aren't used to seeing me in the hat. So what's going on, Dawn? Just sitting here trying to get some concept work done. Okay, I'll look at the Discord. Absolutely. How are you today? How's your day been? Just getting home from work. How was work? Was it a good day, I hope? I'm actually laying out some, doing some just rough thumbnails for prints for Ka-Pow. No injuries to it. Good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, my friend. That's a good thing. Thanks for popping in, man. So this is just a big old doodle session where I'm exploring different potential print iterations. But I think I'm going to do the green one. I like this one. This one speaks to me. This one speaks to me. And I think I'm gonna put some bad guys kind of in the foreground, or maybe, you know, a hand with a gun or something like that, you know. But this one speaks to me. I like the composition of it, right? I might make the cape a little bit bigger because I really want to. I was actually mentored by the original artist for Icon and Rocket, Mark Bright, MD Bright. In the early 2000s, I had reached out to him, and he actually responded, and we started it turned into a mentorship. You know, he blessed me, I blessed him with some things that he was going through at the time, you know, and so I've recently not been able to get in touch with him, which kind of bothers me, because it's been years since I've talked to him. And I like to kind of maintain my network. But yeah, MD Bright, the original artist, and I think he even designed Icon. I believe he designed Icon and Rocket. He came over from the. He came over as well. He'd done a lot of work at Marvel and DC. MD Bright was a legend. He's one of those black creators that I don't think got his full due, his just desserts when it comes to industry recognition. But he Avengers, he worked for everybody. And but to me, his what's up, redeemed wife? Hey, I see you got a new icon. You trying to mix it up on me? A new profile image. What's going on, woman? You're seeing me in my alter ego, Steph. I have my half of my Ka-Pow uniform. When we do the con when we do the cons, you're going to see me with this hat. This hat is kind of how I'm known in convention circles. People see me with my shirt, but it's the black Malcolm X hat that people look for when they in the crowd. They know Solo by the black hat. Ooh. Working on your okay. You prepping for the goodness, the goodies. You prepping with the goodies. I like it. Looking swaggy. Thank you, love. You know, old dude's got a few tricks left up his sleeve. You know what I mean? You know, my kids have always taken a certain level of pride in how relatively young Toy and I are. You know, but we're getting older. And and the fun thing is, both of us are embracing it. Now, as with all things, if you guys know me, if you've seen me at cons and you've seen any of my prints, or any of the work that I do, especially when I'm doing fan service stuff like this, you know, I always have to add my own flavor to the designs. So he's going to be no different. And so one of the things I'm going to be doing with Icon is, with this print in particular, if you read any of the books, I tried reading these new seasons. I'm not going to go on into a tirade. Here's the funny thing. As much as I'm disappointed in how Milestone is being handled at this stage, great. Yes, they got I think a static movie in the preliminary works, and I'm excited because anytime you have a black creation that was, you know, integral in so many young black creators of my era's development and time coming back, that's a good thing. That is a great thing. And so I will not besmirch that. My disappointment really comes from a place of love and passion. All right. And I got people that work for them, and they're like, you know, Solo, you can't be saying stuff like that. Well, here's the funny thing. I can, because I'm not part of the mainstream industry. right? And though I would love the opportunity to work on, and I would only work on industry stuff that is milestone. And I told my dude, that's my only caveat. Like, I have buddies that are, when you've been around as long as I have my buddies are now heavy hitters, and I'm very blessed that my name is good in them streets, right? My name is good in them streets. And so, just like any other industry, it's not just how good you are, it's who you know. And I'm fortunate enough to have some really sound guys willing to put their names on the line for me if I want to do mainstream industry work. Because I have a school, and because I have my own studio, and because now you can go direct to consumers via social media. I don't need the industry like we needed it 25 years ago, as far as to validate myself and stake my claim in the marketplace. Now, with the ability to go straight to consumer and all of that, the landscape looks different. It looks different. And so because of that, I feel that I can be honest, right? I can be honest without, having to play politics. And in the spirit of honesty, the rebirth of Milestone, I was so excited for it. If my son Jordan is on here, he will tell you I was like on 10 excited when they made the announcement, I believe during the pandemic. And during the pandemic, and I believe it's right around correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe also it was right around the time of the George Floyd tragedy. And so the timing was not lost on me. The timing itself was not lost on me. But I kind of felt that after they released, I don't believe that DC, in my opinion, I don't believe they put the creative resources behind it as they have with other properties in the industry, right? And what I mean by that is this. Okay, so if you guys are familiar, I know Chuck knows this. I know my son Jordan knows this. Anybody who is an astute follower of the medium knows this. Whenever a new property is introduced to the marketplace, that the publisher is committed to the success of it, right? Thank you, Chuck, for agreeing. Chuck says he agrees. I know you guys can't see him. He's on YouTube. He says, I agree, right? Whenever a publisher in the marketplace, whenever a publisher wants a book to hit the ground running, for lack of a better term, right, and to help shore up its potential success, they spare no expense in putting together an all-star creative team, from the writing to the drawing, right, to the coloring, to the cover artists. They spare no expense. They pull guys out of retirement that were fan favorites, that they know when their name is going to appear in the credits of that book is going to fly off the shelves. I didn't see that apply to Milestone's relaunch. Okay, I didn't see that apply to Milestone's relaunch. And not throwing any shade at any professional that was a part of that relaunch. Congratulations. I applaud you. But you have to remember, Milestone, if you are Generation X, it carries weight with you. If you're not Generation X, you don't know these characters. You don't know their story. You don't know their history. And so if on the heels of the Black Lives Matter movement, because they put all that in the comics, which I didn't know how to feel about that, because they changed the canon of it to fit current events, which I didn't think was necessary. I think that you could have written in current events, right, and already had the characters who they are. But they did a complete remapping to pander to current events, which I did not agree with that at all, right? I did not agree with that at all, because the characters' origins were solid enough as they were. They didn't need a total overhaul, right? And did you miss? Chuck says DC didn't. They didn't put resources behind that imprint, and they never have. They haven't. It was. I think it was I really do believe that it was a pander play to the Black Lives Matter movement, because they have been in talks for years with doing this, right? And it's always been some kind of legal issue, or DC putting it on the shelf, or injecting Icon and Rocket into Young Justice, the animated series, just to maintain the license. Because for those of you who don't know, that's how licensing works. If they don't use the characters periodically within a certain time frame, they lose the rights to the license, to the IP, and it reverts back to the original owner, which is Dwayne McDuffie and Milestone, Dwayne McDuffie's estate. And so they would toss, Icon and Rocket into, passive roles on Young Justice to maintain the license, but weren't incentivized to do anything with it. Ironically, until the George Floyd thing, right? That's when it all came. I don't know if you guys saw the DC fandoms and all that. I saw all of that. I watched all of it because I was excited about it. And regardless of why, I was excited that Milestone was coming back. And they put, at best, and we're talking about maybe Doug Braithwaite and Dennis Cowan. Okay, so just so you know, let me pause my recording, because I'll record everything in the background. I'm recording my drawing process, and I don't want a whole bunch of dead space into the time lapse, the complete drawing process of this, the drawing process, while I'm talking, while I'm running my mouth. So, at best, let's in the comic book. Remember, the comic book industry is the entertainment industry. We're just going to call it the entertainment industry. In the entertainment industry, you have A-listers, you have B-listers, you have C-listers, right? Though they may take personal offense to it, most actors and people in the entertainment industry, they know what list they're on. They know this, okay? They know by the types of roles that they get and the projects that come their way. It's no different in comics. You have A-list creative writers, A-list artists, A-list colorists, right? A-list cover artists. You have B-listers and C-listers of the same. All due respect to Mr. Cowan, all due respect to Doug Braithwaite, because they, especially as black men in the industry, they have done their thing. These brothers have done their thing. They have earned their stripes. I know Doug Braithwaite is a Brit, but he's a brother, right? Dennis Cowan is a legend amongst us in the industry, and I hear he's a great guy. I'd love to meet him one day and shake his hand, because he opened so many. He was at DC when there were no black artists at DC. So he was a waymaker. He was a trailblazer. And despite that, because of the nature of the entertainment industry, just like in comics, there are no. All right, so excuse me if I get a little political. Hence the X hat. I keep it a buck, right? And again, if you become a student at Ka-Pow, I will always be honest with you. I don't lean on race. I want race to be abolished because it's an American construct to divide us, but it is something that has to be addressed. In the creative arts industry, which is why I'm opening up my nonprofit. Hopefully next year, once all this other stuff is settled. Black artists and creators in the creative arts, we comprise less than 5% of the entire creative arts industry and entertainment. Less than 5%. Not my opinion. There's a study done by UCLA. I have the graphs. I have the metrics. I think the last one was done in 2019 or 2020. Okay. But according to that last poll, we comprise less than 5%. That's comic artists, animators, illustrators, concept artists, background painters, you name it. Less than 5%. And of that 5%, we'll just give it 5% for argument's sake. Of that 5%, less than 2% are black males. The lion's share are black females. Okay? And so knowing that, Mr. Cowan and Mr. Braithwaite, as good as they are, at best they are B list, which goes against the publisher's typical methodology of putting top list by the fans, by sales, top list artists on books to ensure the book's initial sales until it gets momentum. So that's why you see artists like Joe Madureira come out of retirement. You'll see artists like Jim Lee, who's now the creative director. He'll jump on a book for 4, 5, or 6 issues, right, to ensure sales, because they know his name is going to sell. One of the first comic book millionaires in our industry, right? They didn't do that for Milestone. They did not do that for Milestone. They put Jim Lee on like a couple of pages in their 0 issue, and that was it. The 0 issue, and then they handed off the chores. And again, even though I'm not aesthetically a Dennis Cowan fan, I'm not a fan of his art. I'm a fan of what he's done for black artists in the industry, and I appreciate his voluptuous library of work. I'm a fan of him as a professional, and I'm a fan of him as a black professional in this industry. I'm just not a fan particularly of his art style, right, and his style of storytelling. So those are different. Those are totally different boxes. But at his height, Dennis Cowan may be a B-lister, right? And though he created it, and granted he's doing his own book, that's who you're propping it. You're propping the success on these books on. And I have friends that own comic book shops. I'm not hypothesizing. I'm not assuming. They have shared numbers with their stores and nationwide. Milestone sales numbers are horrible because they were counting on introducing a new audience to these characters, a younger audience. They were banking on the momentum and the trend of the Black Lives Matter movement, right? And they were counting on Gen Xers who were there in 93 when they dropped. In 93, I was 21. Right? About to get out of the military, starting my life in my family. It came into my life at a very dark time, and it inspired me in a way that no other book had before it. None, since I started picking up a pencil. Milestone, when I saw those characters on the shelves, I bought every book. And just a point of fact, the number 1 selling book, which was Static, wasn't even drawn by a black guy. It was John Paul Leon. John Paul Leon was the original artist on Static, which really catapulted it. So my point in saying that was, most of us wouldn't even care if it was a black team on it or not. We just wanted the best artists to help ensure its success. That was it, right? And they failed. And it makes me angry. It makes me angry because I know that they have the resources. I know that they have the talent pool. I know they got phone calls they could have made, right? You could have brought somebody for 4 or 5 issues to prop each one of those titles up and then put whoever you wanted on it. You know what I mean? Because that's how the industry works. That's how it works. Chuck, do you agree or do you disagree? He said, and those 2 pages by Jim Lee were trash. You said, Redeemed Wife said you missed Gen X by 7 years. That's all right. That's right. You missed the best generation. That's okay. Yeah. And so, yeah, those 2 pages he did were not his best work. They were his, because he's on here. He's on Twitch all the time. Right. And I'm not a fan of Jim Lee's work. Okay. I'm a fan of how he executes as an artist, but I'm not a fan of his style. So it ain't sweet for him. You know, I got on Jim Lee's bandwagon when everybody else did in the 90s, right? When he was doing the X-Men stuff, because it was new, it was hot, it was innovative. And so I get Jim Lee's appeal. I totally get it. But yeah, it ain't sweet for him either, as far as I'm concerned. Not to me. And so anyway, you take a guy like, what's his name? Nicholas Draper Ivy. I seriously think putting that dude on Static was probably the single biggest mistake they could have made. Okay, Static is your pillar property. It had a successful television show that ran for several seasons. He was the titular character in the Milestone universe, and I love static. I might do a static print. And mind you, my prints aren't necessarily. I like to have variety. So I gotta find some Asian American characters I want to do. I know I want to do Thunderbird. I like true representation in my portfolio. So do you agree 100%? Black comics don't put up sales numbers. Yeah, they never have. No, they haven't. So you buy just about every black character that comes out, and I know I'm in an extremely small market. You are, because I can't even give Milestone a charity buy. Like, I bought the first issues because I wanted to see it succeed, but it was so horribly done and horribly written. It was horribly. They were horribly drawn and written. Okay, horribly drawn and written. Okay, so you bring Chris Cross back, who did the original Blood Syndicate. Chris Cross is maybe a C-lister in the industry, maybe as an artist. I respect him, but we all know where we land. I may catch some heat, but I don't care, because again, I was a cop for 27 years in the most violent city in the world, Chicago, a police supervisor. My skin is very thick. Trust me. I don't fear social media. Only person I fear is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and the throne that he sits on. Everybody else, I got a little bit of trepidation when it comes to the wifey. Okay, and that's a righteous fear. All right, fear of disappointing her. But what I'm telling you, I'm keeping it a buck. You bring in Chris Cross, you bring him back for nostalgia's sake. I get it, because he's back on Blood Syndicate. He was the original artist on Blood Syndicate, one of the original artists on Blood Syndicate. And I collected Blood Syndicate, even though I never liked Chris Cross's work. I collected Blood Syndicate because I love the premise of it. A superhero team that is not a team, but actually a gang. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. And I wanted to see where it goes. You want to talk about a movie worth watching? I'd watch a Blood Syndicate movie, okay? Because it took the whole superpowered team trope and turned it upside down. But was he though? See, was he hot? I don't know if he was hot. I remember when he was doing Firestorm. I saw his Firestorm stuff. But I think didn't he do Firestorm on the heels of Brian Stelfreeze? Didn't Chris Cross do? Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he do Firestorm on the heels of Brian Stelfreeze? And Brian Stelfreeze has always been that guy. I'm a huge Stelfreeze fan. Huge Brian Stelfreeze fan. Okay. So was he though? And I don't know who the writer was. To each his own. I just never liked his artwork. It looked doughy. It looked very inconsistent. He would lose his anatomical forms and structures. I thought his storytelling was juvenile for a pro, in my opinion. But I'm sure he can meet a deadline. Again, I will never cast shade. The dude's got way more books under his belt in the mainstream than I do. I don't have any. Okay, so this is just my opinion, my commentary on my platform. And so let's keep it that. I don't know him from a can of paint, and I'm sure he's a great guy. And he's a brother trying to make his way in an industry that we do not thrive in, nor have we ever thrived in. Okay, so my hat goes off to him in those categories. I'm talking purely from an artistic, academic standpoint. Was never a fan of his work. And then as a businessman, he's not going to sell books, man. Do you agree with that? His name is not going to sell books. Not bad at all of the issue 0. No, but the issue zero was just that. It was higher tiered artists to help sell it. You had Jim Lee, you had Ryan Benjamin, another incredible black artist who I love how he teaches. He has another school, and I don't hate because I have a school. He has a school that him and Alex Sinclair Color do, and I forget who the third person is. But and I love watching Ryan Benjamin's videos. I love watching his videos and his process. He was a Jim Lee acolyte. So if you're talking about Jim Lee and lesser Jim Lee in issue 0, right? And then you had, again, issue 0, but they weren't put on the books, right? I have a whole bunch of blanks. I might do some blanks of issue 0, some blank sketch covers. I bought a whole bunch because even despite, not liking the books, I'm going to show Milestone love with these sketch covers. Okay. I'm a fan of what it was and what it's meant to be. What Dwayne McDuffie and that original team envisioned it to be. I don't think this is it. I think it's falling short, and the sales prove it. Okay. If I was just rattling off and there weren't sales numbers to kind of prove it, you dig what I'm saying? Because who's buying it? People who remember the original Milestone. Right? Generation Y ain't buying it, and Generation Z sure ain't buying it. And the majority of the marketplace in comics is, I think, what the average is 35 up and higher, right? And we're aging out. I think it's 40 plus, actually. The average age of most comic book collectors is 40 plus. So those were people that were there during the original incarnation of Milestone. So if you're counting on us buying it and you're letting us down, Nicholas Draper Ivey, right? An incredible... I think he's a really good concept artist. If you ever checked out his Instagram, he is very good fashion and design of characters. He has a great eye for it, and he's a great Instagram artist. But they put that dude on Static, and he jacked Static up. Brother cannot tell a story to save his life. Okay? Cannot. Using antiquated Photoshop techniques that we didn't use in the 90s because they were frowned upon. He's using them now. They look even worse in today's digital processing today, right? And so that's who you put on Static, bro. Static? Your flagship titular character? Yes, love. Okay. Your flagship titular character? Come on, man. Come on. That makes no business sense at all. Not if you really wanted these properties to not only survive, but to thrive. You're talking about thriving, man. You're talking about unique characters of color thriving in a landscape that was not initially mapped out a place for us. You got to do a lot more and you have the resources. Warner has the resources. Oh, you talking about me? No, my issue 0 ain't much better because I was just trying to. But thank you. Oh, that means you got it. When'd you get it? When did you get it? See, I'm in Ka-Pow mode, Dawn. So I'm not in Honor Studios mode. If you would have said that in Honor Studios, I would have knew what you were talking about. So it just hit me. When'd you get it? Today? Oh wow, that is amazing. I'm glad you like. It's not bad. It's where I was 20 years ago. But it set the media on fire. So that it was good for then. As I said on the Discord, I cannot wait to have all the issues out and done of that initial version to get to the remix. The remix is going to be hot. I'm so much better as an artist. You're talking about 20 years of development and learning since then. And so yeah, I'm excited about the remix. But we're going to release that out. We're going to finish that because that was my commission to finish it. So I'm going to honor my commitment and finish that so we can move on to bigger and better things. But I'm glad you got it, and thank you for supporting us on Patreon, man. That means everything to me, Dawn. That means everything. Well, I got to get ready to jump off here. It is 7:38. My wife is here. She brought me dinner. If you all are interested in learning from me, consider, and I have a team of incredible artists at Ka-Pow, okay? Incredible artists. We only have 9 seats available now for the 23-24 school year. It's a virtual online comic art academy that's taught in person live via portal. You have assignments. We give you accountability. We have a private community that's not Facebook. It's not a Facebook group. It's not a private Discord group. It is literally a standalone community that I created specifically for my students to interact and our alumni to interact with instructors and guests and the whole 9 yards. And so check us out. Schedule your pre-enrollment, your pre-admission interview today. The link is in the description. And yeah, it only takes about 20 minutes. If you pass that initial interview, then you will see me again in person, and I will give you all the details necessary for you to enroll if Ka-Pow is a fit for you. But just know, we do not take everybody. Even though we are small by design, because we want to give you guys the best, most personal experience possible at Ka-Pow, right? We're not just teaching, we're mentoring. We're trying to mentor the next generation of creative professionals, whether independent or your desire to go into the industry, right? Whatever your goals are, Ka-Pow, we are very goal specific. And so that's part of the interview. And if you're not a good fit for us, or we're not a good fit for you, you won't make it to the second interview. You'll probably get in. And despite being small, we've turned away quite a few students because it just wasn't a good fit, even though they were ready to enroll. So this is not a money move. I operate with the same level of integrity in business as you've seen me talk about here. Okay. And if you can tolerate that, if that's in alignment with your values and your belief systems, check us out at kapowschool.com, right? Check us out at kapowschool.com. All of our instructors are industry professionals. That is mandatory. In other words, yes, I will interview legends of the industry. I'm setting up interviews now that will be streamed first to my students, and then we'll post them online. But in order to teach at Ka-Pow, all of my teachers are current industry professionals, currently meeting deadlines, currently having projects, currently publishing and producing in real time, so that we can give you guys real-time valued information that helps you grow and navigate today's creative landscape. And so if that sounds exciting to you, check us out at kapowschool.com. All right. And with that, I'm going to sign off here because my wife brought me dinner and I'm about to snuggle up with my boo thing. If you'd like to see me work on my personal projects, check me out tomorrow morning at Honor Studios on Twitch. And I'll be posting replays on Facebook and YouTube. I'll be posting replays there because YouTube the algorithm doesn't show any love to live streams, right? And possibly if and when I make affiliate here at Twitch, it'll probably be the same thing. Live on Twitch, replays on YouTube, because YouTube is, if it ain't shorts, it ain't happening. And I'm okay because I'm posting shorts there too. We're going to grow there too. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for entertaining my rant. And I'm going to sign out here. And y'all keep on drawing. Solo out.